boy Ricky Bobby on the mix one more time, as in not one more time because this is my first video. Anyways, let's just hop into it. I'm gonna do a quick little short 10-minute video as to the pros and cons slash rating on this movie. So let's start off with that. First, great. This movie almost was an 8. It was not. It did not 8. It did not eat at all. This thing is anorexic. It's a 6. I don't want to be harsh. I'm gonna be trying to be as fair as possible here, but let's just keep it a $1.50 with y'all. It's not. It's. Yeah, I really wanted it to be good. Why? I like nostalgic things, and Planet of the Apes always kind of tickles my fancy when it comes to that, but it did not. So let's hop in there. Let's just straight dive into there. Pros. They had this cool moment. Caesar, he died in the last movie. Apparently, I didn't watch it. It just couldn't be asked. There's a whole little religion slash like prophecy slash Bible styled teachings. It was great. I was like, oh, this is a great start. We're about to understand like this whole like teachings of Caesar and how the world can. Well, they start off the movie burning up Caesar, sending his ashes to the sky, whatnot, and we're like, oh, okay, cool, right? I guess, yeah. I mean, that's what happened in the last movie. I didn't watch it, anyways. So that was a pro. I was like, okay, we got some substance here, some Dune type, like prophecy fulfilling. Maybe not with the vision and stuff, but I was like, hey, we might get some cool prophecy stuff here. All right, cool. Like we got a storyline. We got something to work with, right? Here's the cons. They didn't use threw that out the window. That was one of my pros as well. I really thought the orangutan with the teachings that was in there. He was one of the main guys. The main character is Noah. He's one of the apes. He's trying to save his tribe because they get kidnapped by these guys who are followers of Caesar. They stay for Caesar, but they're kind of like, I don't know, they're like, they felt like they just felt like a cult. It was a cult that was trying to use the teachings of Caesar, but in reality, they were just lost. So that sums that up. Let's move on. Hollywood did again. They cheaped out. It was one of my pros. I was like, oh, this is really pretty. They got the Last of Us type of style vibe. They got a freaking towers and buildings that are overgrown, and you can see the metal and the concrete still kind of there, but very hidden under all this luscious brush, and like it's a great scenery. Like you watch Avatar and you're like, oh my gosh, you got petals turning blue. You got mammoths that are orange. I don't know if they have mammoth. I don't know. I stopped watching after the second one. They had robots. It was cool. Explosions. Boom. Fast and Furious style. Anyways, that's what I wanted. I wanted to see some beautiful stuff. They did not do that. They did not deliver. They cheaped out. Same old typical Hollywood stuff. They're going to do that again. They're going to keep doing it. They're just AI generating stuff. It just felt lackluster. And that's a pro, but they did not capitalize like The Last of Us or Avatar or any other movie that's heavily CGI. They just were on a budget, threw it at the wall, hoped it stuck. It did not stick. It was not visually appealing. It was not fun. Another Hollywood trick. They like to go on ahead and make a female lead. I don't mind. I freaking loved Margot Robbie in Birds of Prey. I love her in Suicide Squad. I love her with the Joker storyline when she was in love and this and that. And it was great. I loved Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a great, strong female lead. And then you have the Hulk, She-Hulks. You have hers. And she's not this cringy, but she is lackluster to say the least. Like, oh my gosh. Like, she cries 3 times and you're just like not feeling it. This is what you're kind of shedding a tear on. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're just talking to Noah, the main ape, after everything, and you have a gun behind your back because you still are contemplating shooting him at his tribe after y'all just went through all this stuff. Obviously, there's gonna be spoilers here. Sorry, but yeah. She just wasn't it. She had no backstory. She was not interesting. She didn't have any talking at one point. She literally had like 20 to 30 minutes of screen time before she finally uttered a word and let the other apes know, hey, the 2 main apes and the orangutan, who I really messed with him. He was cool. He was cool. Yeah, it was shifting too. That was my other part. Like, you you want to root for the main characters, and you're like, I kind of want to root for her. She's the human, right? Yeah, no, you just never know which side she's really playing on. She doesn't really. She doesn't just. She's just on a mission, and the mission wasn't even that cool slash like important. I mean, it kind of was, but like I'll get into that why it wasn't important. It was just another. Let's just throw her in there, make her one of the main leads, and throw it at the wall, see what sticks again. Typical Hollywood. Let's move on. All right, so back to that prophecy. I thought, yo, this is gonna be sick. They got a prophecy. I just watched Dune. I just saw them play it out. They had this whole story, self-fulfilling prophecy slash like teaching slash atmosphere slash just density. So much freaking density. I mean, the book was literally this big, and that was probably just chapter 2 and 1. This one had no density, no substance, no nothing. They just threw that out the window at one point. Their favorite orangutan literally gets off after like 20-30 minutes of screen time, and he's over here trying to teach Noah within those 20 and 10 minutes, like, this is who Caesar is. He stood for together better, together ape strong. Compassion, and at one point Caesar lived with the humans and they worked together and blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be great. Yeah, let's go ahead and have a fight scene on a bridge, have him swept by the flood because he saves the female lead who just doesn't say much, do much, and is conflicting throughout the whole movie. So that was great. You kill off one of the best apes you had there, who had a lot of substance, a lot of backstory, a lot of stuff you can learn and fill the movie with. Yeah, where the people will feed me the manja, yeah, whatever. It didn't happen. All right, anyways, moving on. It really bugged me. The ape that I'm mentioning a lot, the orangutan, he was teaching the word of Caesar, whatever. At the end of the movie, Noah never goes back for the book. He never goes back for this Bible slash book of teaching slash whatever you may want to call it. But he never picks it up. He never gets enlightened. He just kind of like understands who he is, but has a conflicting understanding of him, which you could have gone back for the book and understood, but obviously they couldn't read. But like, that's where the human would come along and play their part and role, teaching them how to read, and they can understand together, have a common ground, common basis, common understanding, common teaching, common. Now throw that out the window. We don't need that. This is Hollywood. We're just going to show a bunch of apes blowing up stuff and electrocuting each other with pokey sticks and batteries that don't really get explained. Hey, America, Hollywood, let's go. Anyways, next on my list here, main ape gets thrown away on that bridge scene. Just felt very wow, you had one good character and you off them. It's like killing Captain Price. Like, I don't know, it just felt very linear, felt like a Call of Duty mission. This whole movie, just scene after scene, a lot of dead marks in the movie where they're just not saying anything. It's just quiet. It's just nobody's talking. It's boring. It's boring. I heard myself breathe too many times, and I'm a heavy breather. I did not appreciate it whatsoever. Never explained why the apes and humans fell off in the first place. Caesar apparently had this great teaching and this and that, cult following, blah, blah, blah. Humans live together, blah, blah, blah. Never explained why they fell off. It just says 2,000 years later or whatever the amount was. It was even forgettable about how long in the future, but it was in the future. It was forgettable. Moving on. We got the main character, Noah. I wanted to root for him too. Never gets enlightened with Caesar's teachings. Never has interest in going back to where the ape was like studying and like having all his books. There's one scene where the ape has a bag of books, and one of them mainly was teaching the word of Noah. I mean, the word of Caesar, which had all the teachings of like basically how to be a great leader and self-prophecy for Noah to be the tribal leader and like come and become the main ape and like maybe fulfill and fill in those shoes for Caesar. Like, that would be great. Never happened. It just doesn't happen. Typical Hollywood stuff. So yeah, they never really talked about that. There's one scene where they're literally looking into a telescope, and now you're just thinking like, okay, an ape is looking into a telescope. The human also shares the telescope. It's a female lead, and they're just both looking in there. She hasn't said anything yet. It's 20 minutes, and then she's just here, and she's looking in a telescope. He's looking in a telescope, and there's no common ground. They're just both started. It never shows you what they're really looking at. So now you're like, okay, what are we looking at here? Are they like planning on going to space? Are we gonna have apes in space? I don't know. I simply don't understand. We're just having scenes. They're just scenes. It's like playing a video game without the action, and it's just cutscenes. But the cutscenes are not even good. They don't even fill in the story. Ugh. That made me get a water break. Like I said, visually not bad, but they cheaped out. It could have been better. The roles reversing between humans and apes. Humans obviously were not the top tier anymore as the apes. They were running around talking while you had some Neanderthal humans. But then you also had other humans like Nova, the female lead, who apparently had a Tomb Raider fit and had jeans and a tank top, while some other humans were just in shambles and not looking good, caveman it up, and had sheepskin for like clothes or like whatever it is. It's typical stuff. Kingdom of the Ape, planetary solar systematic unity cult members of the Apes of Kingdoms of Planet. Whatever you want to call this movie, this feels like a Fast and Furious trilogy where you just don't understand. Numbers don't do it anymore. It can't be Fast 6. Let's just call it Fast. Let's just call it Furious in the next one. And it felt like that. The title made no sense. It's Kingdom of the Planet of Apes. You go to this guy's kingdom. He's on a freaking boat. He's on a rusted boat that's beached, and that's his kingdom. About 200 apes. That's a kingdom? Like, that's what we're working with here. No, yeah, didn't hit home whatsoever. That whole kingdom was a cult. It was a cult. He literally thought he was Caesar. He was the descendant of Caesar, and he thought he was almighty and powerful, knowledgeable, and in reality, all he wanted to do was get into a bunker. Guess what's in that bunker? Freaking tanks. What are they gonna do with that? It's like freaking United States when they left Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever it was. You're just gonna see a bunch of people in Black Hawk helicopters just trying to figure out how to fly them and crash. Like, no, like these apes can't read, and yet you guys are infatuated with opening this freaking like door with tanks inside, and then the lady, the main female lead, is like, well, I can't let them in. They're gonna literally take over the world if they get these freaking tanks they can't drive. The worst part about it, she like off Noah's tribe. Like she kills like 50% of them. Nah, probably not that much. I don't know. They didn't even confirm that part. I mean, there's like 3 main characters from that tribe and that survived, and the rest are just like filler monkeys. So she like blows up a dam, and the dam floods them, and mainly all the main people, except for the king, of course, because the king's the main character, and they have to have this Wakanda Forever style waterfall fight where one of them gets kicked off the edge, but instead it was Noah who uses the power of his birds, because that's what the tribes were using. They were bird herders slash, I don't know, but they would use them to get food and stuff. Anyways, he sings a cool song, and birds start attacking him, throws him off the edge. All right, cool. Wakanda Forever. Ooh, oh, wrong movie. All right. Well, it felt very similar. Didn't really think about that one too much, did you, Hollywood? You just kind of did the same story. Yeah, back to that kingdom. It was not a kingdom. It was a cult. It was 200 apes. They never really hit home with together we are strong. Together we are apes stronger. No one never really picked up Caesar's teachings. No one never really got enlightened. No one never even had a chance to like learn Caesar's way, to maybe even enlighten the king of these apes who are trying to get tanks. And just so many missed opportunities here, bro. We just no substance whatsoever. Yeah, I tried to make a pros and cons list. I have about 15 cons and like 3 pros here. Like I said, I think it's a 6 out of 10. I really tried to be fair here. I really tried to love it. Just out of nostalgia purposes, and it just did not do it. It did not do it, and I'm sad about it. I really am. But hey, appreciate y'all tuning in. That's my quick little review on this. We're gonna go ahead and do some more of these too, because you know what, I kind of like pooping on the movies. You know, I just think Hollywood needs. They ain't gonna hear this, but we need people to hear this, bro, because this just. Wait till it's on Hulu. Wait till it's on whatever it is for streaming. Like, if you got free tickets to Cinemark app, go watch it. It's not a bad time. It's just not a good movie. So many missed opportunities. Hey, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, we'll go ahead and do some more of these. We'll got some more gameplays and stuff like that coming in too. But, you know, that's going to take some time. So give me some time.